Dear student, today we will start Gauss law. Before starting this topic, you know about the electric flux. What is electric flux? The word flux has been borrowed from hydrodynamics. This term implies that some kind of flow. That means the flux word used in the sense of some kind of flow. The electric flux over an area is an electric field represented the total number of electric field lines crossing this area. It denoted by phi E and is given by the product of surface area and component of electric field normal to the area. That is phi E equal to vector E dot vector ds, or phi E equal to E ds cos theta, or phi E equal to integration over closed surface E ds. Flux is a scalar quantity. Its SI unit is Newton per Coulomb meter square. Here Newton per Coulomb is the SI unit of electric field intensity and meter square is SI unit of area element. Since we can write Newton meter square per Coulomb, but also we know that Newton meter is equal to Joule. Therefore, we can write this unit Joule meter per Coulomb also. Now we come on Gauss law or Gauss theorem. It states that total electric flux through any closed surface or Gaussian surface in free space is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed by that surface. That is phi E equal to Q by epsilon naught equal to integration over closed surface vector E dot vector ds. Or in another word, we can define the Gauss theorem. If a closed surface encloses a charge, then surface integral of electric field over the closed surface is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the charge enclosed. In defining the Gauss theorem, the word comes Gaussian surface. So what is Gaussian surface? Gaussian surface is the any imaginary closed surface, whether it is regular or irregular surface. Now, proof of the Gauss theorem. To prove it, let we assume a sphere and a charge plus q lies at its center. Then electric field intensity on the outer surface of the sphere is same and can be written as E equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square into unit vector r. Here unit vector r tells the direction of electric field intensity. Since charge is plus q, due to this reason we written the expression of electric field intensity. The direction is outward and the line joining the charge to the surface element along the outward direction. So we use to represent the direction unit vector r. In second step, we consider a small element of area ds with area vector ds normal to the surface of the area element. Then electric flux through the area element is d phi equal to vector E dot vector ds. The direction of ds is also in outward direction. If we represent it with a unit vector n, then after putting the value of E, we got d phi equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square unit vector r into ds unit vector n. Or we can write d phi equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q ds by r square into unit vector r into unit vector n. Since we know that unit vector r and unit vector n are along the same direction, so angle between them theta equal to 0 degree. Therefore, dot product of two unit vector is 1. Since d phi equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square into ds. It is the expression for the electric flux passing through the small area element ds. Now we find the electric flux passing through the surface of the whole sphere. To find it, we integrate the above equation, that is d phi equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square into ds. Then total electric flux over the entire closed surface is phi E equal to integration over closed surface d phi equal to integration over closed surface 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square into ds. The integration of d phi is phi, and before integrating the right hand side terms, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square, we first pick out the all constant term from the integration side. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is constant. The charge is also constant. Here r is the radius of the sphere, so it is also constant. Only ds, which is the area element, which is variable. So our equation phi equal to q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square integration over closed surface ds. Hence, ds is the small element of a sphere, then the total area of the sphere is 4 pi r square. Therefore, in place of integration over closed surface ds, we put 4 pi r square. Then our equation becomes phi is equal to q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square into 4 pi r square. 4 pi r square and 4 pi r square is cancelled out. Therefore, phi equal to integration over closed surface vector e dot vector ds equal to q by epsilon naught, which is expression for Gauss law. Now we see the special case. In first, if the closed surface does not contain any charge, that is q equal to 0, then phi equal to integration over closed surface vector e dot vector ds equal to 0. Now the second case, if the closed surface contains the two charges of equal magnitude but opposite in sign or nature, then the net charge in the closed surface equal to plus q minus q equal to 0. Therefore, again phi e equal to integration over closed surface vector e dot vector ds equal to 0. Third case, if closed surface had discrete distribution of charge, therefore total charge q is equal to q1 plus q2 plus q3 plus dot dot plus qn equal to summation over I equal to 1 to I equal to n qr. Now, in our electric flux equation, in place of q, we put the sum of all the charges. Therefore, phi equal to integration over closed surface vector e dot vector ds equal to 1 by epsilon naught summation I equal to 1 to I equal to n qr. Now, all of you note down, outward electric flux through a closed surface is taken as positive. That is, phi equal to integration over closed surface vector E dot vector ds equal to q by epsilon. But inward electric flux through a closed surface is taken negative, since phi E equal to integration over closed surface vector E dot vector ds equal to minus q by epsilon. It's all for today. You listen it and also see the notes which is uploaded with the lecture.